Hello and welcome to Between the Pages. I'm your host, River. Today we have a full house. Adam, Michael, Echo, and Sky are all here. Welcome, everyone.
Hi, River. Always a pleasure.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Hello, excited to talk books.
Absolutely. Can't wait for this topic.
Today we're doing something many of you have asked for. We're talking about one book that we think every student and teenager should read. We'll explain why it's perfect if you're learning English at a B1 or B2 level. That book is, drumroll, please, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone by J. K. Rowling. Michael, you're a big Harry Potter fan, right?
Huge fan. I've read the whole series 3 times. The first book is where the magic begins, literally. And for English learners, it's a treasure.
I completely agree. I remember when I first read it. I was maybe 14 and my English wasn't great yet. But something about the story just pulled me in. I didn't want to stop reading.
Same here, I think it's the perfect mix of an amazing story and clear, natural English. The book doesn't try to be complicated, but it still teaches you so many new words.
Absolutely. Perfect for all my projects. I've even used quotes from the book in school essays.
Let's break it down. Why is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone such a good choice for someone at B1 or B2 English?
The language builds slowly. If you open the first chapter, it begins with a very normal English family, the Dursleys. The vocabulary is about everyday things, jobs, houses, a baby. You read words like proud, secret, letter, nothing too difficult. But then, as Harry discovers magic, the vocabulary grows with the reader.
That's the key. You don't need a dictionary on every page. And because the story is so interesting, you can guess the meaning of new words from the context. For example, when Hagrid says, "You're a wizard, Harry," and then explains Hogwarts, you might not know wizard or Hogwarts, but you completely understand from the situation.
Exactly, there's a lot of dialogue too. You hear different ways of speaking. Hermione sounds clever and uses precise words. Ron sometimes uses informal phrases, and Hagrid has a warm, friendly accent. This helps learners understand real English, not just textbook English.
Right? You hear things like blimey, I reckon, wicked, little expressions that teenagers actually use in the UK. You don't get that from grammar exercises.
So you're saying the dialogue is real?
Absolutely. It sounds like young people talking. And because Harry, Ron, and Hermione are 11 years old in this book, their conversations are not too deep or philosophical at the start. They talk about classes, homework, Quidditch, and annoying teachers. It's very relatable.
That brings up another point. The setting is a school. Any student listening to this podcast understands school life. Lessons, exams, friendships, rivalries. Hogwarts is magical, but the feelings are the same. That makes the book easier to connect with.
I remember reading about the sorting hat ceremony. That scene is full of tension, but the language is still simple. Michael, can you describe it for our listeners who haven't read the book?
Sure, so all new students at Hogwarts must put on a magical hat. The hat looks old and dirty, but it can talk. It reads your mind and decides which house you belong to: Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, or Slytherin. Harry is nervous because he doesn't want to be in Slytherin, the house known for dark wizards. The hat whispers to him, "Not Slytherin, eh? Are you sure? You could be great, you know." It's funny and exciting at the same time.
And from a language point of view, that scene teaches words like nervous, brave, clever, ambitious. The houses actually represent qualities, so you learn a lot of adjectives without studying a vocabulary list.
That's such a useful angle. So, Echo, what other themes appear in the book that English learners can easily discuss?
Friendship is the biggest one. Harry, Ron, and Hermione start as strangers on the Hogwarts Express. But by the end, they're willing to risk their lives for each other. For teenagers, this is a powerful message. They learn that being loyal and brave matters more than being perfect.
And there's the theme of choice. Dumbledore, the headmaster, tells Harry, "It is our choices, Harry, that show what we truly are, far more than our abilities." That's a line I memorized when I was learning English. It's not too hard to understand, but it's deep.
I love that quote. I actually wrote it on my notebook. It motivates me even now. For B1, B2 learners, short, memorable quotes like that are fantastic. You can use them in conversations, in writing, and they make you sound thoughtful.
Let's talk about the plot a little. No huge spoilers, but can someone give a short summary of what happens?
I can. Harry Potter is an orphan. He lives with his horrible aunt, uncle, and cousin. They treat him badly. On his 11th birthday, he receives letters, hundreds of them, telling him he's been accepted to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. He had no idea magic was real, so a giant man named Hagrid comes and takes him away. At Hogwarts, Harry makes friends, learns magic, and discovers that someone wants to steal a very powerful object hidden in the school. The Philosopher's Stone. It can give you endless life and gold. Harry, Ron, and Hermione must stop the thief before it's too late.
Simple, right? But the way Rowling tells it, you can't put the book down. Every chapter ends with a question. You want to know what happens next.
And because the story is so gripping, you forget that you're reading in a foreign language. You just want to finish the chapter. That's the best kind of language learning, when you're so interested that you don't notice the effort.
What about the book's length? Some students might be afraid of a thick book.
The first book is not too long. It's around 220–250 pages, depending on the edition. That's very manageable. And the font is quite big in some versions. You can read a chapter or two in one sitting.
Also, the chapters are fairly short. Each one is maybe 10 to 15 pages, and they often have a mini adventure. So you feel a sense of achievement every time you finish a chapter.
I'd say if you read one chapter a day, you'll build a strong reading habit. And after maybe 3 weeks, you'll have read a whole novel in English. That's a huge confidence boost.
Let's get practical. If someone listening right now wants to start reading Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, what tips do you have?
Tip 1: don't stop for every unknown word. If you understand the general idea, keep going. You can underline words and check them later, but if you stop every minute, you lose the magic.
Tip 2, listen to the audiobook while reading. Jim Dale's narration is brilliant, and Stephen Fry's version is also wonderful. You'll hear the correct pronunciation and the rhythm of English sentences. It's like a free pronunciation lesson.
Tip 3, watch the movie after you read the book. You'll be amazed how much you understood, and the film will help you visualize the characters. But read first. That way your brain does the hard work.
Absolutely. And tip 4, start a reading journal. Write down a few favorite sentences and maybe a short summary of each chapter. That will help you remember new vocabulary and structures.
What about the level? Is B1 enough, or do you need to be B2?
I'd say a strong B1 student can read it with some help. A B2 student can read it quite comfortably. The first few chapters are easy. The Dursleys' world is ordinary. When the magic begins, there are new words like wand, cauldron, potion, but they repeat often. By chapter 5, you're comfortable with them.
Plus, the sentences are not too complex. Rowling uses a lot of short sentences and clear descriptions. She doesn't write long, confusing paragraphs like some classic authors. It's modern, clear English.
Yes, the comedic moments are a big plus. For a teenager, humor makes reading fun. And funny dialogues often use common, everyday phrases that you can steal for your own English.
Steal meaning borrow, not taking without permission, of course.
Laughs exactly, borrow and make them your own.
There's another layer, too. The book has many British cultural references, food like treacle tart, pumpkin pasties, Christmas crackers. Learners get a peek into British life without a textbook. That's interesting if you're curious about the UK.
And there's Quidditch, a completely made-up sport, but you learn words like broomstick, chaser, seeker, snitch. It's all very imaginative. This shows that learning English is not just grammar. It's about having fun with language.
The mirror of Arized. Harry finds a mirror that shows you your heart's deepest desire. He sees his dead parents standing beside him. It's beautiful and sad. Dumbledore explains that many people waste their lives dreaming and never living. That idea stuck with me.
I love the part where Ron and Harry first meet. They are on the train, sharing sweets, and Ron shows Harry his pet rat Scabbers. It's the beginning of a legendary friendship. The dialogue is so natural and funny.
The final chess game. Ron, Harry, and Hermione have to play a giant, dangerous game of wizard's chess to reach the Philosopher's Stone. Ron sacrifices himself so the others can go on. It's an incredible scene about courage and strategy. Even without magic, Ron is a true hero.
For me, the moment when Neville Longbottom stands up to his friends. He says, "You can't go out, you'll get Gryffindor into trouble again." He's terrified, but he's brave. Hermione freezes him with a spell, and then she says, "Neville, I'm really, really sorry about this." It's funny and sweet, and shows that doing the right thing isn't always easy.
I'd say that a great story is for everyone. The themes are universal. Love, death, friendship, prejudice, those are not just for kids. And as the series goes on, the books get darker and more complex. The first one is a lovely introduction.
Exactly. And if you're a teenager, you're probably the perfect age. You're old enough to understand the deeper messages, but young enough to still feel the wonder of magic.
Plus, if you read it in English, you're giving yourself a huge gift. You'll improve your vocabulary, your reading speed, your confidence. When you finish that last page, you'll feel so proud.
Absolutely, you might even start writing your own stories. I know I did. The book really opens up your imagination.
Let's close with one final thought. Adam, can you repeat that Dumbledore quote you mentioned earlier?
Of course, it is our choices, Harry, that show what we truly are, far more than our abilities.
Love that.
Beautiful.
Absolutely perfect for closing.